In 1982, in Washington, D.C.,
there is no way
President Ronald Reagan
Careful with the
signed a
mirror.
piece of legislation that few realized would redefine the
perfect.
shape of trucks around the world. The
right, let's
Surface
hit the grid.
Transportation
when you
Assistance
are.
Act, STAA,
See you at the rendezvous
sounded
point.
like a dry administrative policy. Yet it split the global trucking industry into two opposing poles on one side. America's massive long-nosed trucks. On the other, Europe's flat-faced urban warriors. Before 1982, American and European trucks looked remarkably similar. Both used cab-over designs, with engines positioned beneath the driver's seat. But after a single line of legal text, steel, glass, and wheels diverged into two entirely different evolutionary paths. This is not merely a story about vehicles, it is a story about infrastructure, economics, and philosophies of freedom, where every road and every law becomes an invisible sculptor shaping technology. Europe is a continent of old roads. Beneath modern asphalt lie stones laid during the Roman Empire, where carriage wheels once carved their marks. Its transport networks were born in a pre-industrial era, when streets were designed for markets and horses, not for zero-ton containers. The United States, by contrast, emerged in the age of engines and petroleum. When Henry Ford introduced assembly lines in the early 20th century, American society reorganized itself around the dream of four wheels. Roads became the arteries of industry, culminating in the interstate highway system, more than 75,000 kilometers of straight concrete, linking the Atlantic and Pacific. While Europe preserved winding historic streets, America possessed the space for massive convoys stretching across vast landscapes. Infrastructure, though seemingly static, acts as a form of genetic code, shaping every machine that moves upon it. One continent carries the legacy of Rome, the other, the legacy of Ford. When these inheritances collided in the 20th century, divergence became inevitable. Before 1982, U.S. law limited the total length of the tractor and trailer combined, similar to European rules. Extending the cabin for driver comfort meant sacrificing cargo space. But the energy and trade crises of the late 1970s forced Washington to intervene. The STAA of 1982 changed everything. Only trailer length would be regulated, while the tractor itself gained design freedom. American engineers were suddenly unchained. They extended the hood, moved the cabin backward, added sleeper berths, air conditioning systems, and even refrigerators.
The
Machines
extended
like
hood
Peterbilt,
improves the drag coefficient
Kenworth,
by nearly 12%.
and Freightliner
And the frontal
evolved into
area
rolling homes
considerations?
part truck,
We compensated with
part
the
living
taper here.
space. Meanwhile, Europe maintained its strict 18.75 meter total length limit. To maximize cargo volume, cabins had to shrink, giving rise to the iconic cab-over generation. A seemingly simple law created two opposing design philosophies. America, engineering freedom, prioritizing human comfort. Europe's spatial constraint, prioritizing economic efficiency.
The
From that
simulation
moment
confirms
on,
the new design
the
maximizes
physics
cargo
of trucking became
Excellent. We've
inseparable
optimized the
from the
space
physics
beyond the
of
initial
politics. In Europe, every centimeter of cargo space translates directly into profit. With fixed-length regulations, sacrificing freight volume for driver luxury makes little economic sense. Imagine losing a single cubic meter of cargo. It could equal thousands of euros in monthly revenue.
By
Engineers
reconfiguring the
responded
layout,
by
we
folding
increased the
functionality
profit per
into
cubic
tight
centimeter
spaces,
by nearly
like a game of
20%.
Tetris foldable
Excellent.
beds.
This optimization strategy
Sliding
is exactly
tables.
what we needed.
Dashboards pressed close to the windshield. In the United States, economics followed a different logic. Highways, stretching thousands of kilometers, require drivers to live on the road for weeks. Time, not space, becomes the dominant currency. A truck can operate up to 20 hours a day if drivers rest properly and eat inside the cabin. Every extra meter of cabin length becomes an investment in productivity. Two continents, two economies, two variables within the same logistics equation. One optimizes cargo volume, the other optimizes operational time. And in between, legislation acts as a constant, forcing both sides to innovate within its boundaries. 40 years later, the results of the 1,982 policy experiment are visible on every highway. In America, long-nosed tractors resemble land, yachts, massive engines, spacious cabins like living rooms, extended hoods designed to absorb high-speed collisions. They are built to travel straight across 50 states, hauling immense loads without ever needing to navigate tight urban streets. In Europe, trucks evolved into urban robots, compact, high visibility, cleaner running machines capable of turning within narrow streets using turning radii as small as 12 meters. Each generation trims unnecessary centimeters and squeezes out additional percentages of fuel efficiency. From a biological perspective, these two design branches mirror Darwinian adaptation. In the vast American desert,
we've redefined aerodynamics
a steel
and powertrain
elephant
efficiency
survives
for
with long
unprecedented fuel savings.
tusks. In European cities, mechanical creatures flatten themselves to slip through the DNA alleys of ancient streets. Yet this divergence also makes integration nearly impossible. American trucks struggle to navigate Parisian streets. European trucks are ill-suited for crossing Texas highways. Physics, economics, and politics, once separate pillars, have fused into the geometric destiny of an entire industry. At its deepest level, public policy does not merely regulate human behavior, it sculpts the physical world itself. A single sentence within the 1982 law reshaped how steel is bent, how engines are positioned, and how cultures form around the steering wheel. From this, a pattern emerges. Roads shape vehicles. Laws shape technology. Technology shapes civilization. Between two poles of the planet, one worshipping geometric freedom, the other worshipping optimization, the truck becomes a living symbol of the complex relationship between politics and physics. And perhaps, in the end, the transport beast is not merely a product of steel, but of human will, a will that forever seeks to control both speed and space.